For taking the time to join me this morning for this important announcement. This election is important. It's not a debate about who's right. Over the last 30 plus days, residents have heard from all the candidates about their vision, their respective parties, and what they want to bring forward. But there are distinct differences about what path to take. We've heard from the Conservatives, finally just last week, on Friday, a Friday before Thanksgiving long weekend. Their plan is built on cutting and slashing key government services and programs that are aimed for helping and supporting Canadians, like the hardworking people of Surrey-Centre. Let alone new investments, their plan jeopardizes the many new initiatives planned for our city and our region. They want you to elect them only to ignore you once again. The investments in key public infrastructure and expansion of educational opportunities for our growing city will grind us to a halt under a Conservative government. And you can forget about my Conservative opponents standing up for what's important for the Surrey residents. She will not care and she will have no say. We've seen that in the last 10 years prior to this. We've also heard from the NDP. They also released their complete platform on Friday before the Thanksgiving long weekend, after all the debates were finished. We've had a record number of Canadians vote for that 4 days of advance voting. I wonder how many of them were able to take advantage of advance polls because of this cheap tactic of choosing Friday to release their platform. It's quite simple. You can't be everything to everybody. You can't recklessly spend through raising taxes. The NDP plan will raise $75 billion in new taxes. No one will be better off. You can't provide government services and programs on one hand and raise enormous amounts of taxes on the other and say that people will be better off. While the NDP only talks of taxing the wealthiest, the Liberal government has already done that. It was one of our government's first actions. We've invested that money directly back into low-income and middle-class families by creating a tax-free Canada Child Benefit to help thousands of families here in Surrey-Centre. And we will do it again by increasing that beneficial program. My NDP opponent doesn't understand the needs of our community. I came into public life to make a positive difference in the lives of the people of our community. I want our kids to have the best education. I want families to enjoy time together. I want our seniors to live their golden years in dignity and grace. And I want our community to be safe from crime and the menace of drugs and guns. Since 2015, I'm proud of my record. I was an advocate for our community at every opportunity. I put forward solutions and took solutions from the community on all issues and had the ability to impact our community. For example, we have 7,500 veterans, and I was able to advocate and get the only new Veterans Affairs Centre in Canada. After 9 had been closed by the previous Conservative government, we not only reopened them, but were able to get one for Surrey-Centre. I was able to get the only new major post-secondary infrastructure announcement in 15 years in the city of Surrey, and that was the Simon Fraser University Sustainable Energy and Environmental Engineering Building, where over 440 new engineers will graduate and 2,000 students will use it for things like robotics and sustainable energy. We were able to get the only new RCMP forensic lab in the country, something that should have been built here 15 years ago, but was not because the Conservatives decided not to implement that when they built the E-Division site. We were able to get that announced, built, and open with over 140 scientists. It is now the largest lab in Canada, and it will help fight crime in British Columbia, particularly in Surrey, quicker and faster, and get investigations to solve major crime. We also dealt with public safety and were able to get the SAFE program, the Surrey Anti-Gang Family Empowerment Program, funded here with $7.5 million. The program is opened at the KPU campus office here in Surrey-Centre, and now it helps over 4,500 at-risk children and their families from gang and gun violence. When it comes to public transportation, we're able to get $900 million immediately for Surrey SkyTrain and other needs so that we have more buses, more energy efficient buses, more B-lines in Surrey, more better and improved Expo Line cars. So now that our Surrey residents won't ride the old 1986 cars, they will ride brand new state-of-the-art vehicles when they go on SkyTrain from here to Waterfront. We are also able to upgrade Surrey Central SkyTrain Station, the busiest SkyTrain station in Lower Mainland, where over 40,000 people board and unboard every single day, now has the capacity to deal with it. This is more money for seniors and funding in 4 years, more community services and funding than the NDP and Conservative MPs in this riding combined over the previous 10 years. What will I do moving forward? Well, outside of working and advancing the big ticket issues of our party has advanced during this election, I will champion the following, and this is my announcement. I will create a Citizens Advisory Committee focused on housing affordability. We'll find solutions on the various types of housing, from those that are unhoused, to transition housing, to affordable rental housing, to senior housing, and to housing for first-time home buyers. We'll build on the National Housing Strategy, what was the first and only national housing strategy ever done in this country, and that was legislated into law by our government just prior to the election being called. I will also create and lead a roundtable on public safety. This was my commitment in 2015. I did town halls in every single high school in the riding, and then we merged that with the public safety report. After that, we worked on it with the Mayor's Task Force, and we were able to bring very effective results. But I think it shouldn't be a start and stop process, so we need to move forward to make sure that the actions we've doing, whether it's the RCMP Forensic Lab on enforcement, whether it's Surrey's initiative to transition the police force, whether it is $7.5 million for the anti-gang family empowerment center, we have to see if these are working, and we have to modify and adapt to the needs of Surrey. And that's why we need to continue this public safety roundtable with all the stakeholders in Surrey. Third, I will fight to ensure Surrey-Centre becomes the next major metropolitan hub for jobs, including public service sector jobs. I found out that there was a need for that the federal government was looking at a second hub in the Lower Mainland. I championed that with my Minister of Public Works, Carla Qualtrough. I talked to Bruce Ralston, our provincial counterpart, and I talked to the Mayor, and I talked to SFU and KPU, and we were able to get the first meeting in July. The second meeting of deputy ministers happened subsequently, and I'm thankful to the provincial government who's honored that and said that they will transition and they will move a lot of offices here. And I can tell you, if I'm re-elected, that is one of my first priorities, to continue that work, to bring over 1 million to 1.5 million of office space right here in Surrey Centre, 500,000 of federal government office space, 500,000 of provincial government office space, for a total of 10,000 to 15,000 government jobs right here in Surrey Centre. I want to say I didn't come into public life to fill time. I had a great career before. I came to work on matters and issues that would benefit the residents of Surrey Centre. So I'd be happy to take any questions, but I'd most of all like to say I'm going to work to continue making Surrey Centre the best place to live, learn, work, and play. Thank you.